Walnut Creek. How wonderful to see everybody. For those of you at home, there's so much talking going on here. You wouldn't believe it. There's so much wonderful, good energy, people greeting each other. All right, how are you doing at home? Folks outside. So, please rise in body or spirit. Join us. This is a song we've done before. I'll remind you, this has two parts. We're going to sing the first part together. We're going to sing the second part together. And then you get to choose if you want to stay with the first part or the second part. Zoe will sing the second part, I'll sing the first. You can choose. You'll figure it out. It's going to be great. Here we go. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. Second part. God loves me. All I need. Now I see. I am free. God loves me. All I need. Now I see. I am free. Both parts together. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. One more time. I know that God loves me. I have all that I need. My eyes are open and now I see. I let go and I am free. I let go and I am free.
I think so.
Diane, you can't leave until we thank you for the prelude. Thank you for the prelude.
And Tyler.
Good morning. My name is Don Shaw. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek.
And my name is Danae Legan. Welcome to our service. And of course, you know what today is.
What is today?
Birthday Sunday. Yes. At home, if this is your birthday, please stand up. And otherwise, in December, if this is your birthday, stand up so we can sing to you.
Kristin is not the only one. Okay.
Who else? Anybody at home? Stand up. Enjoy your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
For being born.
We want to greet everyone who is watching online. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we are glad you are here. Thank you for joining us. Please join me in welcoming our own Lisa and Zoe, who are featured musicians today, joined by the ineffable Tyler on keyboard, along with Dusty and Dan on bass and percussion. Thank you for sharing your music with us today.
And Reverend Kristin will deliver today's message titled Grounded in Faith. This is the first of a 4-part Elemental Advent series.
So buckle your seatbelts. Before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silent as we enjoy this sacred service together.
Oh, let's take a moment to be grateful for this incredible land that our center rests upon. This is Bay Miwok and Ohlone land.
We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of today, and we're grateful for those who were stewards of this land before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred native grounds and all of Mother Earth.
And unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And our vision for the world is, let's say this together. We envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
Our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together.
We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all.
Our core values are
Love, connection, service, and wisdom. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we may give you a welcome packet. Oh, excellent. Welcome.
Welcome.
And if you're at home and would like to have a welcome packet, come next Sunday. We're so glad to have you with us today. We invite you to visit our Welcome Center bookstore cafe, which is across the patio right after the service, and receive a welcome gift. And we hope you'll stay and visit after the service.
Those little gray cards in the seat back pocket in front of you are connection cards. Connection cards are in the welcome packet, and they are for everyone. So you may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week.
You may also share feedback or request information, and please place your card in the basket with the offering. And for those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the Watch Live page of our website.
Well, we're coming up to announcements. We don't have to announce Zen and Bloom for Friday because everybody knows First Friday, Zen and Bloom.
Woohoo!
But we have some other things that we do need to announce.
We have several activities to highlight this week. Welcome to December.
Calling all volunteers.
Volunteers!
And anyone curious about volunteer opportunities at Unity, please join us today, right after this service, in the community room. We will enjoy some festive treats. I think that means things to eat. Holiday craft making and friends. Volunteering is a wonderful way, and really it's the best way, to connect with others in service and nourish the spiritual community we all share. We'll wrap up 2024 and envision exciting plans for 2025. Every one of you sitting here is invited.
Absolutely. And the season of joy is here. Please be sure to pick up a copy of our holiday events listing. That's right, 2 sides. Stay updated on all the wonderful gatherings and giving opportunities we have planned, and find your copy on the patio welcome table, or send an email to the office to request a copy. Let's make this holiday season memorable together.
We do a lot here at the Advent season at Unity, and it's all good. So this is the holiday season, and Unity invites you to share love and kindness with our less fortunate neighbors through 2 meaningful giving opportunities. First, give a teddy bear hug to a foster child. Brighten a foster child's holiday by providing a comforting teddy bear. Stop by Unity's bookstore and pick up a bear, then bring it into the sanctuary. The bears will soak up love during the Sunday services and events before being delivered to children and family services in Pleasant Hill. After you've hugged your bear and fill it with love, pass it down your row so others can do the same. Please ensure that all bears are returned by December 17th. And I see some people that don't have bears to hug, so we should start passing them around right now.
We need to buy more
Let's get
bears.
these bears
Buy more
circulating.
bears. I still have a bear that's like this tall that I bought years ago. He's not going anywhere.
This is the law of bear circulation.
That's it. And second, support local families with non-perishable food. Help those in our community who have experienced food insecurity by donating non-perishable food items. Let's celebrate our abundance by filling the barrel in the foyer with generous contributions. Together, we can make a difference this holiday season. Thank you for spreading love and joy through your thoughtful giving.
Would you like to spread love and holiday cheer through caroling?
Yes!
Well, we can take care of that. My little songbird. Join us Thursday, December 19th at 6 p.m. as we sing holiday carols for the residents, not at the residents. Yes, we're going to sing some holiday carols to the residents of the Kensington Retirement Center. This is a lot of fun. You don't have to be a professional musician to get out there and sing some. That's warm. It'll warm your hand. It's really fun. We have word sheets, so you don't need to know the words. Just get over there and sing. The residents love it, and so do we. See Lisa or Tyler with questions.
And do please pick up a copy of our schedule of holiday events. For more information and registration for our events, please see our website. You may visit our welcome table for more information.
And now, Reverend Kristin has a special ceremony to share with us.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So come on up, Olivia and Heather. They're there. Olivia and Heather they were just recently in the Unity Basics class, and they are becoming members. You'll see them be a part of our ceremony. And they just met during membership class, even. So they have agreed to light our Advent candle of faith to begin our journey and to share the reading from this book, Be Not Afraid, which is our gift to you today. So if you would like this, it has a daily devotional throughout the Advent period. The ushers will have them in the back for you as you exit today. And so over to Olivia Roby and Heather Hollis, who are going to share with us. Thank you.
Thanks. On this first day of Advent, we celebrate faith. How can we prepare for the Advent, the coming realization of the Christ within us? Let us turn hope for a good outcome into faith by our preparations.
Let us prepare as if we were having a special guest over for dinner. We would clean the house and put everything in its place. We would wish it to be a time of joy and celebration instead of worry and fear about hosting.
Now is the time to clean the house of our consciousness, to receive spiritual insights. What stands between you and a realization of your Christ consciousness? Fear can be the biggest obstacle to being fully available to receive the spiritual rewards that this season surely has to offer us.
So out with the fear and in with the faith. By faith and spiritual preparation, I ready myself to receive the highest good. Now we light the Advent candle.
And now we prepare for our time of affirmation and meditation. We're going to start with an affirmation, which is our statement of faith. And I invite you to say that with me. And after that, we'll have some music, guided meditation, and silence. So let's say our affirmation of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
As we breathe further and deeper into our hearts, you may even begin to feel like you are indeed cradled. Cradled in the mother love, cradled in comfort. Every breath becoming more relaxed, shoulders relaxing, belly infilling. The earth cradling you as the chair supports your body. The solid ground is beneath your feet. With that support, we can let go and be cradled in love. And carried by faith. As we breathe in, feeling that and giving over, I am cradled in love. And as I breathe out, I am carried by faith. For the next few moments, you may like to practice in that way, breathing in this affirmation, breathing out the other. I am cradled in love. I am carried by faith in the silence. even as I move about the earth, I bring awareness to my breath. Different points throughout my day, remembering I'm cradled in love. I am carried by faith. And so it is.
Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Cradle me, carry me gently together, together forever, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real oh, far off hymn that hails a new creation. Above the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? And though the tempest loudly roars, I hear the truth it's living. And though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it's giving. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Oh, how can I keep? How can I keep from singing with this song in my heart flowing on and on and on? How can I keep from singing? I lift my eyes, the clouds grow thin. I see the blue above it, and day by day my pathway smooths. Since first I learned to love it, the peace of God makes fresh my heart, a fountain ever springing. All things are right since
Beautiful. That was fun, wasn't it? So you probably gathered by now, we're talking about faith, right, on this journey of Advent. So what does that have to do with earth, wind, fire, and water? We're going to look up later why the band Earth, Wind, and Fire doesn't have water, but Tyler and I have an idea. You'll hear about that later. So those are obviously elements, and elements are foundational to life. When you think about the elements, how they're a part of us, we interact with them all the time, we stand on solid ground, we breathe air, we use electricity all the time, we drink water. I mean, these are all a part of everyday life. So why are we talking about them during Advent? Because there is a reason. Because you know how we talk a lot about embodying our spirituality? And so, yeah? So I didn't see any nods. You're all like, what? No, I have never heard that before. Oh, okay, good. Practical spirituality, right? It's everyday life. And so it's how do we take these very transcendent ideas, particularly faith, right? That seems like, wow, that's something that's of the above and beyond. It's the mystery of spirit. It's the invisible. It's the belief in the invisible. Now we're getting closer, right? It's the trust. It's the knowing. And it's the knowing inside of us. And then what does it look like every day to move through life as a being of faith, as somebody who's grounded in faith? So that's why we're bringing in the elements this Advent season. So while we journey through faith, we're grounding it. We're bringing in the earthiness of faith. I mean, it's kind of a natural anyway, right? We talk about mountains as symbols of faith. We say that somebody who has really strong faith is like a rock, right? They have faith like a rock. So there's already that kind of understanding, that sort of, that very earthy, strong, resilient kind of thing is something that shows up in us as a characteristic of faith, a quality of faith. So Advent, this 4 weeks before Christmas, are about preparation. And the preparation that we are doing is preparing ourselves to move toward that day on Christmas when we rebirth the Christ consciousness. Now, some of you might be saying, do we really have to do this every year? I mean, it seems like if we birth the Christ consciousness, that's enough, right? But actually what happens for us is because we are always in motion, we are always evolving, right? Not only every week toward a certain point in time, but every day, every moment, there's a constant becoming. It's a part of that divine essence of who we are, that impulse in us to reveal more of it. That's really what we're about, right? Is discarding what stands in the way and revealing more of the truth of who we are. And so the process is that moving toward that rebirth, that thing that you carry in your own proverbial womb, that way of being, that dream that you're carrying, that something that you're letting go of, whatever it is, something is stirring in you, no doubt, because it's part of being alive. And it's becoming aware of that and coming in connection with that we begin to unfold our journey of faith. So faith, yes, it's markedly spiritual, essentially. It's about opening our minds to higher realms. It's about dancing in the mystery of spirit and all of that. We don't throw that out when we bring the earth piece in. We actually bring them together. It's that heaven on earth experience. It's that grounding through us experience of what faith really is and how it feels and looks and moves and speaks and acts through us. And so that earthy essence that we're bringing in helps us join then our divinity with our humanity, which is always the journey we're also on, right? As human divine beings, it's like, what do I do with this divinity? And the divinity going, what do I do with this humanity? And it's like this helps us, this journey of faith, and then the ones to come, peace and love and joy, help us bring it all together and live and move and have our being as a whole being. So it's this leg of Advent, this particular Sunday that marks the time when we hear of the birth to come. We get the news of what's coming through us, what will be coming through us. So it's a big day. I'm glad you came. Is in the Christmas story, and I don't mean the one with Ralphie and the BB gun. You know, you probably know. You probably know that, right? I do mean the original Christmas story. In that story, we meet these characters. We meet Gabriel, the angel, and we meet Zechariah, the priest, and we meet Zechariah's wife, Elizabeth, and we meet Mary, who's to become Mother Mary. And the first scene that opens is a scene where Zechariah is doing his priestly duty. He's in the temple and he's burning incense. And this is all a part of one of the rituals that he does. And so he's doing this. The townspeople are outside praying in the courtyard, or the courtyard, I think, of the temple. And he's preparing the space, essentially, setting up. I mean, Charles Fillmore our co-founder, gets into the metaphysics of everything. And there's even metaphysics to burning incense. So maybe we'll talk about that on Fire Sunday, because I don't want to throw too much at you in one day. But anyway, so there's Zechariah. He's doing his priestly thing, his ritual, and then Gabriel shows up. Surprise, right? I mean, how often is it that an angel shows up to talk to you? And, well, maybe for you a lot of times, I don't know, you know. When I first said this was going to be elemental Advent, my wife Brenly said, "You mean like fairies and gnomes and mermaids?" I was like, "Oh, that would be fun," but no, that's not what I meant. We'll bring that in another time. So anyway, back to the story. So Gabriel says to Zechariah, "Your wife Elizabeth is going to have a child." Now, Zechariah and Elizabeth wanted to have a child a long time ago, but they're elderly now. So this is very surprising news. And so, you know, you could understand why he would be questioning it a little bit. And so he starts to question a little bit. And Gabriel's saying, you know, she's going to give birth to this guy named John. What? That's even more astonishing to him. A baby named John, like he won't be named after me, he won't be Zechariah. That's the tradition, that's the convention. I'm the priest of the town. I need to follow the conventions, you know. He's probably thinking all this. And so it's like, okay, first of all, my wife, who's advanced in years, and it's not really possible, is pregnant. And then you're telling me she's going to birth this baby, and then we're going to name him John? So you can imagine Zechariah just starts to kind of wonder out loud, doubt out loud, you know, just kind of not so sure that this is the real deal. And he's immediately struck mute. He can't speak. Why? Because Zechariah's lack of faith has caused him to go into silence. And it's in the silence that it's one way to get us to meditate, right? It's in the silence that we'll begin to develop our faith, that we come in contact, right? We all know this, right? From even the meditation we just did, or the meditation you do at home. Whenever we go into those silent places, it's where we start to find ourselves again. Oh, you know, there's that presence, there's that light, there's that love. This is how I'm feeling today. This is what's going on inside of my body. We become aware, we become conscious through the process of meditation and silence. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, loved to call it going into the silence. And so Zechariah literally is going into the silence for, he doesn't know how long. Is this going to be a permanent state? He doesn't have any idea. But couldn't we benefit from more silent time like Zechariah? I don't know. I can always benefit from more silent time. I don't know about you. So chances are you're going to have to do that on your own. You're probably not going to be struck mute in order to force yourself into silence. So it's going to have to be a choice that you make, that I want to have a little more silence, to cultivate this awareness, this consciousness of the Christ that is coming in me, to become aware of my faith and the presence and all that comes with that practice of silence. So 6 months later in the story, we meet young Mary. Now, Mary is engaged to Joseph, as some of you probably know. And she is also visited by Gabriel, who is very busy, apparently, during this time of year, sharing the good news, the big news, right, of these births to come. And so in Mary's case, she's engaged, but she doesn't think it's possible that she could be pregnant. And yet Gabriel is there to tell her that she will have a child as well, and that she's already pregnant, or that she's going to be in moments to come. And she's puzzling over how this could be possible. And then he says something even more astonishing once again. He says, "You will be impregnated by the Holy Spirit." Now, you would think Mary would be like, "Come on, really?" But Mary grew up in the temple. Mary is accustomed to the spiritual realm. It's probably more even familiar to her. And so she doesn't really doubt, because she knows how things work. She knows how guidance comes, and you follow the guidance, and good things come from following the guidance. And so when it comes again, you trust it more, and when it comes again, and pretty soon it's just the way you live. You're just the embodiment of faith. And that's essentially what Mary is like. She does question for a moment, but it's like a moment, and then she says, "Let it be according to your word." In Unity's Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, did you know we have one of those? Yeah, Charles Fillmore gathered together these Jewish scholars, and they looked at proper names, and they determined, not sure all the ways that they determined, but they determined what these proper names were. So it makes it really fun to look at some of the stories and the people and see what they represent. And in Mary's case, it says that she represents divine motherhood, and they describe that as the brooding, nourishing element of divine mind in which spiritual ideals are brought to fruition. So the divine mind, when we talk about divine mind, we're talking about all intelligence, but we're also talking about the whole consciousness. So it's not just the brain in a human being, but it's also, all of the consciousness, the mind, the heart, the body, all aspects of being. And so Mary represents then for that this nourishing element of consciousness, of divine mind, that then eventually brings to fruition the spiritual ideal we're after. Maybe it's faith for you. Maybe it's a grounded sense of faith, or just a grounding or a centering, or maybe it's something entirely different for you. But whatever it is, there is a coming toward that fruition of what it is that we are holding in divine mind, holding in consciousness, holding in the womb of what will be birthed through us eventually. So this faith-filled consciousness barely hesitates. When we're in that kind of space where we're strong in our faith, when we feel good about our faith, when we're standing in that place where we know what we know what we know, we barely hesitate when things happen or come to us. And we don't really put up resistance or argument or a lot of pushback in any way. And if you think about Mary, that's pretty incredible. She's a young woman. She's got to be a little fearful, concerned about her reputation. She has to be concerned probably about this future marriage to an older man who maybe she barely knows. She might have some fears about and doubts about this, what she's being told, that she's going to birth this boy onto the earth that's going to change lives and transform people and be this big spiritual teacher. And that's a lot to take in for anyone. And yet she accepts the news, and she determines the next right action to take. And she really shows us what you do when you are somebody who has developed your faith in such a way that you accept what comes, whatever comes, as it comes, accepting. And by accepting, I don't just mean conditions of life. That's a different thing, kind of acceptance, but that's there too. But we're really talking about accepting the guidance, the mystery, the spiritual things that happen that we might otherwise doubt. And then saying, okay, what's my next right action? And then her next right action is a very human thing. She goes to her cousin Elizabeth to hang out, to take refuge, to be connected, to feel supported. And so that time, then what tells us or asks us, if we're looking at Mary and her story as ours, which is the way that we look at the metaphysics of it, what wants to come through us? And what wants to come through you? And are you willing to accept it? Whatever is coming to you these days spiritually, are you willing to accept that as sort of your marching orders, if you will, and to take the next determined step, the next right step, to be willing to do what it takes to bring it forth, to carry it, to let it gestate into the time it will be manifested. So Elizabeth then is receiving Mary, right? So Mary comes to her house, and Elizabeth's name means the oath of God, or God's oath, or covenant, or fullness. And so while Elizabeth is also pretty shocked at the news that she's pregnant, she's also willing to accept it. She's also willing to meet the situation with gratitude. It's a dream, a lost dream. It's like we could think about that in terms of our lives. There are times when we had a dream for decades, right? When we were younger, and we gave up on it, or our desire changed. But sometimes that thing comes back around. Have you noticed that? The thing that you were guided to do or asked to do or given or shown, it comes back around later. And that's in a way what we're seeing with Elizabeth, is this lost dream coming back and saying, okay, well, it's arrived. It's kind of late, I think, but I'm glad it's here, because here it is. The miracle is happening. And so I'm going to greet it with a willingness. But this is really a key thing that Elizabeth's story tells us about this idea of embodiment. So Mary shows up, and Elizabeth says, I felt the baby leap in my womb. And so, any woman who's been pregnant before has felt that before in some way. But she's talking about something very specific that happened in a very specific moment. She's saying when Mary came, that it's like I intuitively knew that Mary was also pregnant. And the baby in my womb leapt as if it were greeting the baby in her womb, making it even clearer that the prophecy that is being talked about, that John will be this forerunner of Jesus, all the more true. So it's that piece that is such a key. We often talk about intuition in terms of wisdom, but what about faith? What about faith? Because that is embodied faith. When we feel that guidance, when we feel that sense, when we have a sensation in our bodies, do we trust it? Do you trust it? When your knees are aching, do you ever say, knees, what do you need? Do you ever go in and ask them? Because you know what? They will tell you if you listen. Because we have wisdom all through our body, in the cells of our body. Spirituality has been taught to us for so long as something that's just up there and out there. But up there and out there, which is great, up there and out there is a part of the mystery and the wonder. But until it is in here and down here, we don't really get to live it, to hold it, to feel it, to experience it, to carry it, to birth it, to know it, to be a part of it in our words and our action and our days and our relationships and our creativity. Faith is available in all of those ways, but not until we let it in, till we breathe it in, till we're willing to be, if you will, impregnated with the Spirit. Male or female, it does not matter, right? Or anything in between. We're talking about a spiritual experience. It's like when Teresa of Avila was penetrated by the arrow of the angel. It was this wild, visionary, or maybe real experience. I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell the difference anymore between myth and reality. And I love that. Don't you? As we begin to play more in the fantasy of whatever is possible in the invisible realm, it becomes more and more real. And faith is a part of that. Faith is that bridge that says from the invisible to the visible. And faith is that part of us that says, I feel it in my body. I have a sense of knowing in the cells of my being. I know something to be true. And I'm not going to let my mind, and not that the mind is a bad thing, not that the brain is a bad thing. We put so much emphasis on it. And so it is more something that we want to put in service to the Spirit, in service to the guidance, as wild as it may seem, as astonishing as it might be, to allow it in, to accept it, to be willing. I think that's what the Christmas story in this part of it is trying to show us. These characters are trying to show us the most wild thing you could imagine Spirit would ask you to do, the most wild thing that could happen, that an angel appears at your bedside and begins to speak to you and tell you what it is that is yours to do. Whatever it is for you that you think, yeah, that's probably not going to happen to me. Open your mind and imagine, what if it did? Would you just shut it down? Would you just, because the power of faith would say, oh no, take that in, let that in, let it into your body, feel it, see what you think. There's some wisdom there. There's something for you there. And Mary and Elizabeth and later Zechariah all show us how to really allow it in, let it in. So, are you listening? Are you paying attention to what's happening inside of you? It doesn't have to be some great visionary, wild ride of an experience. It can be a simple, subtle kind of message that you get. And those simple, subtle messages come in all kinds of ways, right? It's the music we hear on the radio. It's something somebody says. It's everyday life. Everyday moments. It's the way the sun catches something and suddenly gets your attention and brings you to a memory. And then suddenly you're wondering why you're thinking about that. And then a friend calls who's connected to that. And it's like, wow, this is all connected. It really is. We really are one, like we say we are. And faith is this elixir that keeps giving and giving and giving and deepening and deepening and deepening us in our walk. So grounding in our bodies, you can do it in simple ways. I remember Wayne Dyer used to try to teach his kids to eat healthy things. And one of the ways he did it was through muscle testing. So he tells a story this one time where he gives his son, there's 2 bananas, one's organic, one's not. He gives his son one of the bananas. His son doesn't know which one, and he does muscle testing. And when he's holding the organic banana, his body's really strong. When he's given the other banana, his body is weak, right? Have you seen that muscle testing before where one holds and you resist? And then, it's really pretty amazing how that works. And so it's that there's another example of how we trust the body, to tell us what it needs, what it wants, so it can serve us in new and exciting and rewarding and healthy ways for our well-being. So when we're grounded in our bodies, we awaken these other faculties, like the wisdom that we spoke of earlier, or the second brain that we sometimes say the body has in the solar plexus. And it gives us a kind of calm confidence when we have a more embodied sense of faith. So then when difficulties come our way, we can meet them with a kind of a calmer, more grounded. That's what grounded faith looks like. It's a kind of not easily rattled, not easily thrown into the wind by the winds of life. More like a swaying tree that's strong and rooted in truth. And it's also that piece that helps manifest, envision, dream, hold that space for what can come. It's how Mary and Elizabeth moved with the news in that kind of very grounded way. When our spirit is grounded in faith and embodied, we live and move and have our being in these ways. We become bringers of heaven to earth. We become bearers of light in more expanded ways because we're not worrying about everything or being anxious about everything in the physical world. And so instead, we're meeting the things of the physical world with a spiritual understanding, with a powerful sense of faith. So in Egypt, I was in Egypt earlier this year, I told some of you, during sabbatical, and I saw these images and got introduced to the goddess Nut for the first time. Do you know her? Familiar with her? I took a picture, and it's not a great picture, but I'll explain to you what's going on, because the goddess Nut is you see those long, almost serpent-like raising up, and then two heads. That's her. And in both depictions. And then her body just kind of snakes around all over the ceiling of these tombs of the pharaohs. And so the story of the goddess Nut is like when we say, I have faith that the sun is going to rise and set every day, right? There are some things we just have a kind of innate faith. And so the Egyptians have the goddess Nut to ensure that that happens. And what happens is that it's said that at sunset, she swallows the sun. And then it moves through her body through the night. Some of the depictions have stars along with the sun. So you see those red dots all the way down. That's the sun moving through her body, and it goes all over the room. And then it comes back up the other side, facing the other way. And at sunrise, she births the sun. Isn't that beautiful? So this idea that the light comes in, the faith, the illumination, the light comes in, and then the light is shared. So I like to swim, and this time of year it's really nice because usually when I swim, the sun is kind of low, and every time I breathe on one side, your mouth is really open, right, to breathe, and the sun is always right there, and I think, oh, I'm like the goddess Nut. I'm like swallowing the sun. Every time I'm on the left side, I'm swallowing the sun. And it just sort of uplifts my whole experience, because then it's like I'm feeling into what it feels like to be this magical, mythical goddess, right? And I'm thinking about then, what will I birth tomorrow? What light will come forth tomorrow? What light can I cast upon the earth to help each other, to serve in some way, to help myself? So I think these ancient Egyptians and Hinduism, the religions that have the gods and goddesses are really brilliant, because they're not necessarily saying there's not one source. They're just saying there are many faces, there are many embodiments, there are many ways to see how the god-goddess shows up. And when we are given these, they become things that we can grab onto and imagine being ourselves. And it lifts us up to higher ground, to new ways of seeing and being. To bring it back to earth, it makes me think of this woman, I'm going to call her Cheryl, from my former congregation. Cheryl was known for the light she cast, the light that she cast to raise consciousness around people like her that were wheelchair bound in our city, and where we needed greater equitable accessibility in the parks and the buildings around town and so on. And she was really effective in raising her voice and getting things to change. And so a lot of people knew Cheryl because of this. They knew her by the light of day. They knew her by the sunrise of what she was to offer. And yet, it wasn't until I officiated at her celebration of life that I realized that there was another side to her that was like the goddess Nut as well, and maybe gave a window into the fuel for all that light that she would cast. See, Cheryl loved to watch the sunset. It was her sacred practice. She would find a place to watch the sunset in that kind of beautiful way that we do maybe when we're on vacation at the beach, and we really take the time to, like, it becomes an event to watch the sunset. And for Cheryl, it was a daily spiritual event to watch the sunset. And so to take in that light and then birth that light is one of the many ways we can walk upon this earth, giving over the good, sharing the good, taking it in and bringing it out. So expanding our faith through the embodied possibilities, maybe even the traits of a god or goddess, will be fun for you. I think it makes it more fun and spreads more joy. So we might think of faith as this like transcendent quality that's in the crown of the head, and that's part of it. But specifically in Unity's teachings, the power of faith is in the pineal gland. And the pineal gland oversees circadian rhythms. So rest, darkness and light, rest and action. These kinds of pairings are a part of that pineal gland that holds these possibilities in place. Things like silence and expression as well. So maybe there's something that is longing to come forth into your spiritual understanding, and you'll follow the rhythms as you're guided, as our friends were in the Christmas story. Each of these characters plays in the mystery and the miracle of birth and faith and possibility, and they also bring it to earth for us. In Zechariah's case, it's part of the way he embodies is through ritual. And if he is fully present to the ritual, and we can do this in our lives too, when we are fully present to the ritual and the routines of our days, we cultivate these qualities through us and as us through those actions. So when their son is finally born, Elizabeth exclaims that his name is John. And all the townspeople are standing around and they're confused by this. What? No way. There's no way. He's not. This is our priest. His name's going to be Zechariah. That's always what we do. We always name the son after the father. Why wouldn't we name him Zechariah? And so they look to Zechariah and they say, what's going on? Now they're accustomed to hand signals with him, and he takes a piece of paper and he writes, his name is John. And then he speaks. And he can speak forevermore because he's testified now to his faith. He's publicly acknowledged his faith. He's allowed his faith to express through him. And that's what happens for us. We go in the silence, we follow these rhythms, our circadian rhythms, and then we come out and we express at the right time. Speaking the truth, embodying the truth. That's a walk of faith. So wherever you are on this journey, I hope you'll consider what's brewing, what's gestating, what is coming into you. What kind of light will you hold and carry and birth in the coming weeks, especially as we truly rebirth at Christmas time, the Christ consciousness in us. So I invite you to affirm with me on this fabulous journey this time, this week, in earthy faith, embodied faith. Together, spiritually centered and attuned to my intuition and body, I am grounded in faith. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Kristin, for a deep message that resonates with me deeply, physically, earthily, gestates a new understanding of faith. So, you don't come here for just the same old, same old. You come here for something new and different and special, and it was. Still my turn. Our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide personal prayer support. If you are a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. Our prayer chaplains wear the lovely lavender stoles.
Thank you. And whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplain is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
And for your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community shown on the screen in front of you. And for those of you watching online, there is a donate button on the Watch Live page. We encourage everyone to set up regular and automatic giving to Unity using your bank's free bill pay service.
I invite you to take your tithe or your offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Thank you.
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes, look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Why not think about the times to come and not about the things that you've done? I know you might not believe that it's true, but life never meant any harm to you. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Let's get it together. Here we go. There we go. All right. If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Ooh, don't you look back. Ooh, don't you look back. Ooh, don't you look back. One more time. Ooh, don't you look back. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
Wow, that was as good as the original. Nice work, band. Did you see Tyler's face and those piano riffs? I mean, that was serious concentration. Oh, we are so blessed, are we not? Yes, bringing that joy out there and shining that light in the world, aren't we? Yeah, thank you, Spirit, for the abundant good that is held here, symbols of the giving that you continue to share with the world and this community shares with the world. Thank you, Spirit, for how that continues to move through us and as us and bolster our faith and embolden our light so we have even more to share as we expand. Let's bless it together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is.
We are a circle of love. We are a circle of light. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you and the light in me are one.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. So grateful for all these kids and all these helpers today. We had a lot of fun. And we were talking about the spiritual principle of hope and faith. And anyone want to share the story that we talked about? Evie, thank you.
One day, a little boy named Sam was at the beach, and there was lots of waves, and the waves carried lots of starfish onto the beach. So he went to throw them all in, but there's too much. So an adult said that he might not be able to do it. And then the adults started to help. The end.
One day, a little guy was driving his Power Wheel to the beach, and then he saw hundreds of starfish on the sand of the beach, and he threw all of them in there with his toilets.
Can you pass it to Millie? Yeah, so the grown-up said, you're never going to be able to throw all of those starfish, and it's really not going to make a difference. And the little boy said, well, it's going to make a difference for this one, and it's going to make a difference for this one. And so then the grown-up started helping, right? And that was our story of hope for today. And yeah. Great job telling the story, kids. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And we had a big group of Uniteens. Who wants to share from your group? Okay, Adele. Thank you, Adele.
So we were reading a story about how these teenage kids they like burned the house down, and their parents come home. Mostly the conflict was about how everything in that house could be replaced, but family could not be replaced.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So Katie here would like to share her picture. So we all decorated trees as well, so.
Nice.
Good job. Good job.
Wow,
That's all.
sounds like a full Sunday. Well, let's bless our children, youth, and teachers together. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
All right. We're going to close out with Wherever I Am. Please stand in body or in spirit. check your neighbor. If you like to hold hands, make sure your neighbor likes to hold hands too. Or you can put your hands over your heart. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. And all is well.
You are the light and the love and the faith on earth right now. So let your light shine, have fun, and spread joy.